Jared here with One of the Nation's Rage. I want to do a vlog today and talk about some things that have happened in my recent past and my near future, things that are going to change. And I say that every time I make a vlog, it seems like. And that's because I'm going through some major transitions right now at this point in my life. So I did something today that would make this step that I'm talking about official in my life. And I will say, before I tell you anything else, I will say that some very big changes are coming as far as, like lifestyle changes. No, I'm not coming out of the closet or denouncing my faith in Jesus Christ or anything like that. It's not like that. It's a career thing. So last time I made a vlog and I talked about my future goals. I explained to everybody that I want to become a truck driver, and I think that I would be a very good fit for the job. I love to travel. I love to drive. I have a squeaky clean MVR. I have a clean background. I haven't had any tickets on my record in well over 10 years. So everything is good for me to get a job as a truck driver. Everything is more than ideal. And I feel that I'm qualified to become a truck driver. I've always wanted to do this since I was a little kid, and I used to see those commercials on TV. Like, say, for instance, when I was like 5 or 6 years old and my mom was watching Little House on the Prairie on TBS, and these Alliance truck driving commercials would come on. I still remember it like it was yesterday. And I would look at those people driving those trucks and be like, man, that looks like fun. Or not even that looks like fun, but that looks like something that I would like to try one day. I always told myself, ooh, I just saw a snake cross the road. That was crazy. I always told myself when I was a kid that sometime in my life, at some point, I was going to learn how to drive an 18-wheeler. And I always wanted to. I can think back now at any age and think back at a particular time or point when I thought about this, when I thought about being a truck driver. I really wanted it to happen whenever I was like 16 and 17 years old. I remember just thinking about it like, man, I can't wait till I turn 21, or I can't wait till I turn 18, because I want to drive a truck. That's what I want to do. Well, as time went on, this is a very, very dangerous place to pull out onto 212. As time went on, I was growing up. I had issues, What adolescent doesn't have issues? I, in particular, had some serious issues, though. I had issues with, doing stupid things, and I'll just leave it at that. I have a testimony video that you should check out if you're interested in, details. But I'll just tell you that I did stupid things whenever I was younger, and I regret it now, but I had to learn my lessons, and I had to grow up. So I did, and, things happened between, the point when I was like 17 years old and now. A lot has happened. You know, I've had kids, I've had different jobs, I've made good money on certain jobs. I've been injured on multiple occasions because of my work that I've done. And yeah, I've just had all these different details and issues that have come up. I feel like you guys can't see me at all. I hope you guys can see me. But I've had things stand in the way. And I've had points where I've come very close to preparing myself to get a CDL. And I've just had all these different things get in my way. But I would like to tell you guys that today I did something that I wanted to do for a long time. Back in the day when I was not able to do it, I couldn't afford to do it or whatever. You know, I even came this close on more than one occasion to signing a contract with a truck driving company to get sponsored training. You know, I've checked out the WIA, Workforce in Action thing, where the government will pay for your school to learn how to drive a truck. That never worked out for me. There was always a waiting list, or it just didn't work. But today, I would like to tell everybody that I finally had the money to pay my way through truck driving school. And today, I paid the price to get in. I paid the admissions price. It doesn't take long. It takes 17 days to go to the school to get a Class A license. Now, in case you guys are wondering, what the heck, Jared? Last time we heard you say anything about driving a truck, you were talking about Class B. Well, that's something that I want to do. I want to drive a Class B truck. I want to drive a straight truck. But I don't want to get just some crappy job. I don't want to settle for some crappy job, you know, where I'm not making as much as I could make. And there are circumstances, extenuating circumstances when it comes to truck driving, to where you have to get time and experience under your belt. Ideally, yes, I would like to work locally as a truck driver, and I would like to make good money. Now, there are particular companies around here, especially in the Atlanta area, that will pay you $30 an hour to drive trucks locally. And that's what I would like to do, ideally, over a period of time in my life. But I don't feel like if I went to get a Class B CDL tomorrow and finished everything and came out of the school, I don't feel like I would be hired on by any of those companies that pay that much. I might be able to make $15 or $16 an hour driving a truck around here locally every day. And that's not bad, you know, I'm not complaining about that. But what my point is that when it comes to truck driving, there's one thing that stands out amongst other things, and that is time on the road experience. You know, you have to show a company that you have initiative and that you are able to handle stressful situations. You have to show them that you have integrity, that regardless of whatever happens, you're going to be faithful with your job. You have a job to do, and you're going to get it done. You're going to deliver your freight. You're going to get past the stressful situations of people with road rage. You're going to be responsible. You're going to pay attention. You're going to do your pre-trip inspection, your post-trip inspection. You're going to be very well suited when it comes to communicating problems with dispatch or mechanics. There's so many different layers and dimensions to being a truck driver. It's not just turning a wheel and pushing a pedal down. You have to show them that you're able to focus and drive safely first and foremost. there's so many different things that they're looking for. Don't drive like that guy. There's so many different things that these companies are looking for, and those things can't be learned or obtained by reading a book or even watching somebody else do it. You have to experience it yourself, and I've yet to do that, but I understand how it works. So to try to keep this video from going over 15 minutes, I'm just going to let everybody know that I'm going to school. I've paid the price to get into truck driving school, to drive a truck, a combination vehicle, which requires a Class A CDL. So I'm going to be starting school on the 27th of June. Basically what happened, I know I told everybody that this was something that was going to be further down the road, that I was going to have to work for 6 months to be able to get hired on, but I've gotten a second opinion about this, and I feel like the source of the opinion is trustworthy, and so I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. I was shot down by one truck driving school in Rockdale County, so I decided to continue to look, and I'm glad that I decided to do that. And what happened was I was going to get a Class B CDL from a truck driving school in Rockdale County. I won't mention the name of it. If you live in Rockdale County, you probably already know the name of it. I wanted to get Class B, so I went. I talked to the recruiter about it. It turns out that school only does Class B licenses. That school will only certify you to drive a Class B vehicle with an automatic transmission. They have a school bus on campus, and that is how they train you to drive a Class B vehicles, with a school bus. School buses have automatic transmissions. Therefore, that's the vehicle you would be tested on by the DMV, and therefore, when they gave you your CDL, it would have a automatic transmission restriction on it, meaning that you cannot drive a vehicle that has a manual transmission. Most trucks out there, even Class B straight trucks, have manual transmissions. So if you were to go to that school and get a Class B CDL, you would be limited to driving trucks with Class B transmissions. And you know, that's all fine and good if you're going to drive a bus, but if you're trying to drive a dump truck, a cement truck, any kind of straight truck or anything like that, chances are you're not going to be able to get a job. So I got online and I started looking at other schools to try and find out if there was another school in my area that would train me to drive a truck with a manual transmission and get a Class B license with no restrictions on it. And I found a school that's in Buford, Georgia, which is about an hour and a half from where I live, and that's the school that I'm going to start going to next Monday. My work that I was doing as a bank contractor completely slowed down to a halt. My boss pretty much let me know that he let me know that he was not going to be able to work me anymore, that he had a full staff, and so he had to let me go, just for that reason, and it sucked. I wasn't happy about it. So I've basically been looking for the past week and a half, frantically looking for a replacement job, and have had no luck as far as finding work. So that's when I decided to look into this truck driving thing one more time, and I'm going to start school next week. That doesn't mean that I have a job. These schools do assisted job placement, meaning that they have major truck driving companies that come in and interview the students, take applications, take resumes, and they will hire you on the spot if they feel so inclined to do that. And I'm hoping that that will happen. And like I said, a couple of good things that I have going for me are the fact that I have a squeaky clean MVR, no tickets on my record, no tickets within the past 7 years. I don't speed, obviously. You've already seen 2 obnoxious vehicles pass me because I don't speed like everybody else does. And that's one good thing that I have going for me. The next good thing that I have going for me is my clean background. So I'm hoping that it won't be too much of an ordeal for me to find work. Now, when I go to work, this is my final point, and then I'll let you guys know. I know that I've gone over the 15-minute mark. I'm sorry about that. I just want to express myself here, and I want to keep in touch with everybody and let you know what's going on, what's going to happen in the future. If I get hired on by an over-the-road truck driving company, chances are whenever I first get hired on, I'm going to be on the road for 6 weeks straight at least, so that I can get all the training under my belt before I go out on my own over the road. I have to do that for at least 1 year, at least 12 months. That goes back to the experience bit. I have to get the required experience that I need so that I can come back here when it's all said and done and get hired on by a good, legitimate company that's going to have benefits and retirement plans and stock options and all that stuff. But I have to get the time under my belt before I can get a decent job as a truck driver. It's just the way it is. That's how it works. So if that happens, that's the lifestyle change that I'm talking about going through. There's gonna be changes with my channel. My channel's gonna go through some major changes. It might become truck oriented. If that's the case, I might start a new YouTube channel. If I become a truck driver, which obviously that's what I'm planning on doing, then I might start a vlog channel doing truck driving videos. It might be daily, it might not be daily. It just depends on what my options are. I don't want to let go of the whole YouTube thing, though. I want to make YouTube videos. I plan on making YouTube videos. The whole truck driving thing, I feel like it fits well with making YouTube videos. There are thousands of people on YouTube that drive trucks and make daily vlogs or weekly vlogs. It's not uncommon. So the two things go together quite well, I will say. So don't expect to not hear from me again. But in the beginning, I'm going to be focusing 110% on my job so that I don't make any mistakes, so that I know exactly what I'm doing and how to do it and everything else. Once I get everything down pat and I'm used to driving a truck and I have my responsibilities and everything else taken care of, then I will turn to the camera and, you know, I'll make that a secondary priority. It will not be primary, it will be secondary, especially in the beginning, like I said. I have to become comfortable with this. I have to get the experience down before I worry about videos. There might be small videos here and there in between things, But I'm just letting you guys know that for the next, few months at least, this is going to be my main priority. Getting used to doing this. Getting used to the lifestyle change of living and functioning on the road away from my family. Another big reason why I'm doing this is because my wife is going to go back to school. She's going to get her license as a registered nurse. She already has the LPN. She's going to go get the RN within the next year or so. So I have to make sure that I have a steady, solid income so that she can go back to school and focus on that and not have to worry about income at all. And those are our plans. So just look forward to that. I'm going to keep in touch with you guys as good as I can. Chances are you'll be seeing a lot of me. But just expect this transition to be slow and smooth. Now, I warned you guys about this. I've been talking about this for a long time, on and off. There are some things that I would like to do this week, since this is going to be my final week before I really start locking down and keeping myself occupied with everything that I have to learn, everything that I have to know and memorize and adjust to. There are some things that I'd like to do this week. I'd like to make one more location video if it's possible. I have the idea in mind of where I want to go. If it works out, then I think it'll be awesome, and I think you guys will appreciate it. Other than that, I'll see you guys later. I'm sorry this video has gone on for so long, but I had a lot to say about this. And I'll probably make another vlog next week or the end of next week to let you guys know how I'm doing, how everything's going for me. I'll talk about it a lot. But be expecting it to have a lot to do with truck driving. That's all I'm saying. So my audience might change too. The viewer group might change. A lot of you people that watch my videos probably could care less about truck driving, and that's alright. I understand, because none of my videos thus far have been about truck driving. But what I'm saying is, in the near future, they're going to be all about truck driving, probably, at least for a little while. So I'll see you guys then. Take care. Thanks for watching. Later. So on and so forth. Jared with Water the Nation's Rage signing out.